LA gets a lot of shit for being a self-centered city, and this has been anything but that.
I'm sorry.
It's a difficult time for everyone, for so many friends that have lost homes.
Recently, as I'm sure so many of you already know, there were more wildfires in Malibu and Los Angeles. And if you saw our last video, you would have known that our year ended with what was called the Franklin Fire. A little did we know that an even more catastrophic disaster was going to occur in our community and other communities just a few weeks later. The Palisades Fire, the Eaton Fire, the Hearst Fire, all of them sprung up in very quick succession alongside other smaller fires as well. These fires were driven by hurricane-level winds, gusts that came from Santa Ana, sometimes coming up to 100 miles an hour. So these fires were spreading fast. In addition to this, although we don't know the exact origins of all of the fires, there have been arrests of suspected arsonists made as well, which is extra alarming and has been to everyone in all these communities, because not only do we have all of these fires happening, also worried about new ones cropping up, with some of them potentially being intentional. Many of us lost power, which means we didn't have cell service or electricity or the internet, so it was very hard to get information about what was happening with the fire and where it was spreading and whether we needed to evacuate or not. And unfortunately, some people also lost their lives in this fire, and many more are missing, and we are hoping to hear better news about them, but we are worried.
And so many people right now worried and concerned about their homes, especially with multiple fires. I know in Eaton Fire, people are concerned and want to just see if there's anything valuable that they can sift through in that rubble.
However, this fire has obviously been a massive effort from firefighters and emergency personnel in California and other states. There's been firefighters that have come from Canada and Mexico to help fight the blaze, and even the National Guard's been called in.
There's people from everywhere. This is insane. It's cool that they've got a spot at Zuma to all these different trailers and for bathrooms and everything. Maybe places for people to sleep.
And obviously this has been a really challenging time for everyone. We weren't even sure if we should make a video about this. It's hard to know what to say about it or to even deliver the information. I don't know. It's an emotional time and it's a strange time, and there's been a lot of stress, a lot of grief, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of frustration, and we're still trying to put the pieces together, and it's still going on. So the fact that we're doing this now, something could rapidly change in not too much time, but still we're here trying to keep everyone bereft of it and to explore the experience that we're having with it. I just want to share that we're safe, our home is safe, and our family is safe, and we feel incredibly grateful that we're still able to say that. We're also here because we wanted to send a message of solidarity to the communities who have been affected by this loss and do our bit to highlight ways that you can help, which we will put all in the description box below. In these times, I do remember the power of poetry and art to help us heal out of disasters such as these. Poetry has many functions, and one of it is to help us make sense of our experiences. With this in mind, I wanted to share a bit of poetic guidance from one of my favourite poets, Louise Gluck, and talk about a few other things to do with what to do in a wildfire. In the spring of 1980, the poet Louise Gluck lost her home to a fire, and she wrote about it in an essay. In the essay, she says, "After a period of devastating grief, there was also a strange exhilaration. I felt grateful. The vivid sense of escape conferred on daily life an aura of blessedness. I felt lucky to wake up, lucky to make the beds, lucky to grind the coffee. We too went through these stages of grief and gratefulness when my wife and her family lost their home in the Wildfire in 2018. And like any loss, sometimes they re-emerge and we feel again their old familiar pangs. Rather than shy away from our difficult experiences, poetry helps us capture and integrate them. And writing can serve as a powerful release for what's trapped inside us and help us find language for moments that leave us speechless but not without words. And I just had a conversation with Rachael about this, and she said that this is so difficult to talk about, and I completely agree, because everyone experiences this differently. Everyone has literally a different experience as to what they lose and what they haven't. And then there's also just a range of reactions to that in any type of grieving. There's no correct way to do it. But what do you take from it as well? Like, it was your house.
I don't know what to say.
Because I feel like it's just gonna make me cry.
I don't think I can.
It's up to you. There's no pressure. I just wondered if you wanted to. I'm sorry.
I don't think there's anything I can really add here. It's a difficult time for everyone, for so many friends that have lost homes, for all of these places, restaurants and businesses that, I've been going to since I was little. We're very thankful that we're safe and that our friends and family are safe. And we're looking forward to containment and moving past this. And just like before with Woolsey 2, we rebuilt or we are rebuilding. And the Palisades and Altadena and all these places will rebuild too. I think LA gets a lot of shit for being a self-centered city. And this has been anything but that. So many people have come together, so many communities come together to support each other, to help fight to save neighbors' houses. Firefighters that take time away from their family to save us, support us.
And some of them from their countries.
From other countries, from all across the United States. It makes me emotional because we've been through this personally before. And I feel for the people that are going through it now. And this is so much worse on a casualty perspective. Our future videos will be more bright and hopefully will offer people inspiration and hope. But, this is part of life. We want to be honest with you too when things are happening. And it felt strange to continue as normal without addressing the elephant in the room. So we love you, and please visit the links below so that you can help people that were affected by this fire and animals that are being rescued. We still need a lot of help. This community still needs a lot of help. Yeah. So,
and it's still going on as the time of recording, so we also need time to make sense of it and help others that we know deal with what's happening and help them along. And there's some people we haven't heard from, so I'd love to hear from people. You could people I know, email me or text me or Rachael or Facebook or whatever. Just let us know that you're safe at least. And yeah, it's we want to have the full range of emotions in what we're making on this channel. That is what life is. That is what poetry and art is. It's not the time to be an armchair expert. Just have some empathy and care about humans being in fire in the same way that you'd care if someone was privy to a flood or a tornado or a hurricane. It's a natural disaster. Like anything, it's just honouring the emotions that people are going through, and that whatever you're feeling is normal. We all react differently. You know, I've deadpanned myself a lot, but doing this I feel more emotional, especially seeing Rachael get upset, and like they're all in me too. I'm just still in that like, what if I need to do something mode. So love you.
That's it. Love you. Love you too.
Without that on, just love you.
Love you.
Okay. Thank you for doing that. And I know it's hard and vulnerable and you can decide what you want, but I think it's important that you talk. And
No makeup on.
Yeah, but I think it's important. After many years of fire experience, Rachael and I have come up with a short list of things that you can do to help you best prepare for a wildfire. God forbid that happens at all. 1, make a list of important documents and belongings and make copies of them. Things like passports, social security numbers, marriage licenses, titles, photographs and more, and know exactly where they are in your home. 2, pack early. Sometimes there's no time to grab anything more than the shirt on your back, but if you can, pack your car early. We've put the link below to some recommendations on this. 3, spray down your roof and surrounding property if possible. Also make sure you close your windows because embers can get through and start a fire from the inside. 4, invest in some emergency gear. Gas masks, respirators, goggles, fire retardant, gas and solar generators, camping stoves and flashlights. These can all be complete lifesavers. We also always keep jugs of filtered water on hand and canned and dried food in anticipation of extended power outages, which we are definitely no stranger to. 5, fill trash cans with water. If resources are tight, this water can be used to fight fire around your home. 6, move items like outdoor furniture as far away as possible from your property unless you can put things like cushions indoors. Do that. 7, this is something to prepare more in advance, but clear all the brush from your property. Get rid of leaves, anything that can be flammable you do not want near your property. Palm trees, eucalyptus trees, these things are especially bad. I've heard palm trees be described as being like matchsticks, and if you watch any videos, you'll understand why. 8, get to know your neighbors, being in contact with other people that you can trust, as you can build a network of people looking out for each other. Often the most up-to-date information we received on the status of each fire perimeter was from friends and neighbors through phone messaging, social media, and just going over to their house. 9, download the apps Watch Duty, Windy, PulsePoint, and Flight Radar 24. If you know any others, please put them down in the comments, but these have all been immensely helpful during these times. And join your local emergency Facebook groups and other forums if you have them. If these do not exist in your community, be the one that makes them. They are extremely helpful. 10, listen to law and emergency personnel. Remember, you, your family, and your pets are the most important things. Don't try to be a hero. People lose their lives trying to fight fires that are completely out of control, and we obviously don't want more people to succumb to that. So the main thing is to be as safe as possible. So in short, if it's time to leave, leave. Lastly, I want to share with you a poem I wrote during the last fire, Franklin Fire, which is the title of the poem. There is ash swirling in the air, but also something not quite graspable. A fragment falls into my hand with half its soft veins intact. The corpse of a leaf breaks away like a memory, joins particles in the breeze. A fire burns over the ridge near our house, her long flames tasting their way up a palm tree, kissing wood, licking sap, drinking them all away as embers slash the wind. We must abandon our homes, for an ember may sneak through a vent, spark the bed alight, and digest the house. We, the rats that panic from under the decks and scrabble their way into the night. We, the hawks and crows gyrating under tongue-orange clouds. The god of plague glares down. The lidless god, the eye of Apollo over the red consumption. Smeared with this thought, I grab a hose, place my finger over the stream and shoot it over oak leaves, those fallen and crushed dry, those still with their nails digging into stems. My wife in the house, packing, photos, books, clothes, pieces of art. These are just objects, we tell ourselves. These are just objects, I try to reassure her. Ash, rain, soot, salt, we embrace. All these words passing silently between us. I carry box after box into our RV. Even when we no longer see the flame, we know it still shudders under the earth. The root smoulders, the cold body in need of touch. But not like this, not with smoke scratching the lungs, with the drying world crackling in night's lost music like an old vinyl somewhere in the air, finding ears, finding hands, making homes.